Hello, mes amis. This is Sebastian back again. Going to do some show and tell of some recent pickups. It's actually quite a lot of stuff, so I'll try and go fastish. And actually, I'll start with shoes. And the question I'm sure you have is, how good am I at selling shoes? And I want to tell you that's really the wrong question. The question is, how bad am I at selling shoes? And the answer is very. So I've been it's a learning curve for me, but I'm trying my best. I'm still failing, but I'm getting better, maybe. So these are some pretty sweet Nikes, and got them for about 15. So this should be good. What I'm trying to do now, instead of just doing buy it now with offer on eBay for shoes, sometimes what I'll do is run auctions with a minimum reserve, and where the reserve is actually, if someone bids on it, they'll get a good deal, just to get some flow with selling some of the shoes. So we'll see. I'm experimenting a bit, but yeah, I'm definitely not tops when it comes to that. These are nice. I was tempted to keep these, but they're slightly big for me. And these ones I think cost 20. I can't recall exactly, but I think the price was okay. These are cool because they're monochromatic. They're a huge size. I think they're like size 17, but they were priced quite cheap, 16. And I don't know. I'm not really good on all the nuances in the models and model types, but I have a general vibe. This was a cool, actually, antique mall pickup. It's kind of a folk art Mexican mask, and it's extremely funky. These, I paid like 30. So it's more for, sometimes I'll pick stuff up and I won't necessarily make much money on it, but I just like having it around for decor, and then I can always list it and it'll sell when it sells. This is, let's be honest, I'll be honest, absolutely hideous. But the thing is, it's a Murano, and it was got it for 7 with the coupon, and it should sell well, believe it or not. Um, I think, along with a lot of people in my generation, have a terrible fear of clowns, which I watched it, and then Bozo always kind of scared me, but I don't know how it is for the newer generation. Do they have better feelings towards clowns than you know? Me, like older millennial generation? It's an interesting question. This is a cool, I think 1939 Pontiac, just model. The thing is, yeah, it's not in the original box. Or no, it's a 1936 Pontiac Deluxe, but very cool car. That'll be fun to sell. It won't sell for too much, but it's kind of a neat one. I also found a second one of these, which is one of these Wells Fargo um, little figurines or whatever models, and it's by this guy Oscar Cortez, and apparently they're collected, so they sell for like $150. Don't ask me why, they just do. This is just a cool one, and it's signed on the bottom. It's a funky frog. I can't remember what kind of style or region it comes from in Mexico. But you can find some of this stuff fairly often. They have them in like home decor, like manufactured. But the reason I picked this one up is it was like $4 and it's hand done. So that goes away. So I try and avoid for certain, like for folk art and stuff. I'll try and avoid like mass manufactured stuff, just because it's not scarce or all that valuable. This is really cool. This is a Russian wooden like figure with just this beautiful designing on them. And so this cost about 6. And the reason I could tell it was Russian, I mean, I figured it was Eastern European or something like that. But on the bottom here, the tag is Russian. So, maybe it was a thing sold to tourists. I don't really know. But pretty cool. Oh wait, I got another thing I got to show real quick. Is this really super funky thingy? Another thing I found at the antique mall. Antique mall, I'll go. It's kind of fun to go to just to learn to see how people curate. You just educate yourself on, continue to educate yourself on objects. And one of the things I've been wanting to learn is like more glassware. And this is an absolutely funky, funky fish piece, and I'm going to research it more. But it should be pretty decent, I believe. Now, I could be mistaken because my glassware knowledge, along with my shoe knowledge, is fairly weak. But speaking of shoes, this is a very nice print. And I cannot tell you the age on it necessarily. And I want to be careful when I list stuff like that because I don't want to say it's some kind of original print that's like antique and then, you know, list it for $1 million, but it's not that. I try and be careful and research things so I don't end up misrepresenting an item, which you want to be very careful with if you can. This is an interesting Courier Knives piece. It's not original, but it is vintage, and it's you know, like life on a cotton plantation on the Mississippi, which that couldn't have been done perfect. Let's be real. This is a beautiful piece, actually. The reason it first stuck out to me was the cat, and it's done in a very Matisse kind of style, but obviously like more modern. And got it for 10. I just thought it was super cool. This one, also a print, Coeur d'Alene. I think the artist's last name is like Lawrence or something like that, but you know, figurative. It's got a really cool totem there. I believe the artist was Canadian. So I think it's pretty up north sort of thing. Oh, this is another piece that I recently found a couple smaller pieces that I showed in a couple videos back by Ree Munoz. And funny enough, there's a YouTube channel that I follow that's absolutely excellent called The Antique Nomad. And he was he came across some of Ree Munoz's pieces, and he started he was explaining that Ree Munoz was somebody who moved to Alaska and fell in love with kind of the culture there, and so they would represent a lot and illustrate a lot of like the folklore and art or mythologies. So that was kind of interesting to learn about. I love their work. It just looks really cool. This is a vintage Picasso kind of poster. Also, I have to research this one a bit more just to kind of try and gauge the age, maybe take it out from the frame so I can better evaluate the piece. But the cool thing is on that is, yeah, it was cheap, which is part of the reason I picked it up, or cheapish, about 13, 14. But the thing is, I personally am not necessarily a huge Picasso fan, although I love Guernica, which is just kind of iconic, and then and transcends the artist himself. And I like some of his more graphic poster style work, like that one. This one is actually really cool. I guess I could say that about a lot of things because I'm biased with what I pick up. But this is the Coyotes signed team picture from the 2019. And I think there were some pretty solid players on there, like Shane Doan and, you know, I can't remember other players. Who knows? I forget when Roenick retired or played. Be cool if he was on there. I didn't fully check it, you know. It was just like, it's cool, solid. It was $20. So I don't always have you know, zillions of time to really do the deep research on the things. This is a cool piece, impressionistic style poster. Yeah, and this one was $10. All right, next. Let's keep going. Um, this is a very cool like graphic on here. Uh, ooh, I did pay up on it though. This was at Savers. I've been trying to go to Savers on Thursdays. Here in Phoenix, it's 25% off on Thursdays versus Mondays, which is 50% off. But Mondays are kind of crazy. So I paid 8 on this. It's what, Extreme Couture, so kind of affliction like. It's but this one should absolutely sell on style. Um, so that's a neat one in my opinion. This one, this one I also paid up for, and this one I probably should not have done, to be honest, but I just like it. This is Puma, and I just love that blue and orange kind of graphic design on there. So yeah, paid 8. Was that smart? Probably not. This is just a big pony Ralph Lauren polo, and that one was 8. This is I'm kind of biased also towards Lacoste. I just like Lacoste, and this one had a good colorway. It did cost 10, but we'll see what something like this will probably sell for around 30 is my guess. This one is actually a really damn good piece, I think. So it got it at Savers, got it for about 15. This is a vintage, I believe 90s Jordan track like kind of jacket. So I do think that's actually money. So we'll see. I'm not the deepest expert on 90s Nike, but I do like a lot of that stuff. This is a vintage London Parade Youth Music of the World piece. What's the year on this one? I had the year somewhere. I think it's late 80s actually. But just to give you an idea, this is the tag on it. I got a little bit of stains, but I think I can get it off. These ones I got just purely on style. It's like some kind of band shirt, attack, but great graphic style on there. This was like $2, and this is the second one, but I prefer the other one. Oh no, I prefer this one actually. Isn't that cool? Awesome art. Again, that would be stuff I'd want to keep. But maybe I'll wear those once or twice and then I'll list it. Lacoste shirt. This one was probably priced up a bit too. They price up Lacoste sometimes. So this came in at about $10. But pretty cool graphic tee. And I like carrying those. This, just an opportunistic pickup on the handbags, which, you know, I'll do time to time. This one came in at about 16. It's a Coach bag. It's fairly nice. It has a little bit of wear, but it still should be good. This is the Weekend collab jacket. Came in at about 14. I think that should sell for probably around 80. And feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm completely like saying this thing worth $1 million, but it's actually worth 5. So yeah, I can sometimes do that. This is a Bad Bunny concert tour tee, probably about 25-30. This one I picked up because I actually want to try wearing this. I don't know if I can pull it off, but I kind of want to try. It's just kind of cool. This is a vintage Ralph Lauren Aztec Southwestern kind of sweater. And the tag, right, yeah, here it is. It's kind of, there you can see that. That one was actually $4. So, I mean, I didn't even count that. I'm like, it's got to be good. I mean, can't lose. Patagonia, kind of wool vest, wool jacket, and that was about 13. I'm guessing that'll sell around 75. Maybe go a little lower. I don't, depending how fast I want to move it. This one, Frank Gore stitch jersey. And this dude played for like a zillion years, I feel like. But this was 10, which is weird because sometimes, especially for the NFL jerseys, they like to price them up to like 30. And I saw some bullshit player was priced at like $45, and I thought it was a joke, but no, it was real. But that one has a couple stains, so I'll have to see if I can get those out. I think I can. This is a soccer jersey. This one cost $5. So this kind of jersey usually price out for like 30. This one is kind of car racing kind of culture stuff, but the graphic is just so good. I feel like, isn't that cool? I'm not even into this sport, and I'm like, I want to wear this. Very neat. That was about $3.50. So this is, what is it? Short Track Nationals 2006. So it is vintage. Is this a vintage one? Yeah, I think it is vintage. 49ers. Like warm-up jacket. This one they priced very nicely, was like $4. So they're not always terrible when they price. Sometimes they are. This is a cool vintage t-shirt from 1992. The constellations, it's just beautiful. It's Liberty Graphics. Yeah, the tag definitely looked vintage, and then there's the date down at the, it's going to be hard to see, but the date's on there too. But this is just a cool one. This one, I don't know. I let my bias for, like, I just love the kind of pinup style. I let my bias kind of influence me, because this cost about $9. And, you know, I don't hate Harley. It's just very saturated. But it's got a cool graphic. So, I don't know. I went with it. This is cool. Troy Polamalu stitched Steelers jersey. And this guy, I don't remember, his commercials were iconic for whatever hair, I forget what hair company he was doing, but he was fun. I liked his commercials. So yeah, this is a Reebok jersey. It cost $16. Again, not bad. Because I feel like in another video I was talking about how they price NFL jerseys in some of these places, like they're made of gold. Like same with Tommy Bahama. I think they have, at the Goodwills at least, they have a thing in the back for the employees to check, like, Lacoste, you're priced in this range. But and sometimes they're a little sloppy. So, but things like Tommy Bahama and NFL jerseys, they're like real consistent usually at like pricing to the moon. This is a leather kind of biker vest. I wasn't familiar with this brand. It's called True Elements. Pick this up for $14. I don't know, I'll try and sell for $60. This guy's kind of one I got for myself, actually. I just like some of these biker images, especially when it's illustrative. I like, I mean, I'm literally wearing one right now. So, I think there's a lot of cool art and design, and it kind of goes in with like tattoo culture a lot of times. This is a Patagonia Nano Puffer Vest. $20 on that. So, you know, that's a bit of a quote-unquote investment, but Patagonia, that kind of thing should sell pretty good, pretty fast too. I didn't even comp this, actually. This is a Buster Posey, so San Francisco Giants catcher, legend, jersey, World Series 2012 jersey, 2012, yeah, jersey, 16. So, I don't know, it's a cool jersey. So this is a Nordstrom suede brown jacket vest. I did pay up a little bit for this one. 17, 18, but I think it's a good one. This one I picked up mostly for style. It's I think the brand is Rails, but it's very cool. This is a clean design, and it was cheap, so about $5, and very fun, I think. I like simple designs sometimes like that, especially off black. The colors look nice. This is just straight up funky. Feel like this like late 80s vibe. It's definitely, this one is definitely vintage. Just look at that. The colors are so nice. So it is, who knows, it's made in Vienna. It's got alpaca, whatever. Now, made in Austria. So, is it fancy? Who knows? Maybe. But it's cool. The material didn't make me all scratchy. I mean, and I didn't live in Phoenix. Maybe I'll try and wear it. Talking about scratchy, colorful. Another one here. These I found in different stores, actually. I don't usually find really, they stood out just because of the colors and material. This one is, I mean, I didn't know what this is. It's called, I can't even tell what this is. Rampant Tack? No? Who knows? Here, you can see the tag. Cost with coupon $4. So, come on, this is cool. If it didn't, you know, make me want to jump out of my skin wearing wool, it'd be fun to wear. Polo, Ralph Lauren long sleeve, hoodie, nice colorway. Paid $7. Oakland A's, warm-up jacket, $10. This one, I couldn't find anything on, but it's freaking huge. I mean, not that I'm a big person, but look, it's like you could fit 3 of me in here. This is Nicaragua, just pinstripe baseball jersey, and it's probably like, who knows, 3 or 4 XL, but it's cool, and it was like $5. So I took a flyer on that because I like I mean, I like a lot of stuff, but I like the sports stuff. This one I was iffy on, but it cost $4, and it's a vintage Death Valley t-shirt, and the cool thing is it's got like foil on it, so I thought that was kind of a neat touch on it. This one I think is pretty good, actually. This is vintage Neil Young concert tee. Used to really like Neil Young when I was younger, and I just don't know why. I got out of his music. I forget when this was from, because I did look it up, but I believe the tag is fairly vintage looking. So, if you can see there. All right, let's keep going. Trying to be as fast as possible. I don't usually pick up Eddie Bauer for whatever reason. I find it boring. But if it's vintage and it's got kind of a cool patterning, and no disrespect to Eddie Bauer, it's just, you know, not like my favorite thing. Which doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, this is made in USA. So, I figure made in USA, Eddie Bauer, cool design. Why not? Ooh, this one has fishies on it. I don't like it. I'm a big consumer of sardines, so whenever I see a freaking sardine on a t-shirt, I'm very motivated. So this guy, I forget, I don't have the tag anymore. I think it was about 4 or 5. Actually, maybe 6. But it's just all in style, and the material is fairly decent. Supreme, New York. Paid $9 on this guy. Let's see what it can get on this. Maybe mid-high 30s. But Supreme has a pretty strong, you know, following, so that should be good. This is a Guatemalan serape jacket, women's. I just love these. They're, you know, they're just funky and cool. And they usually don't price these up too bad. I don't have the tag on there anymore, so that's why I couldn't tell you what I paid. This one I picked up at White Dove, actually. This was a cool, like Honda biker jacket. It doesn't have any armor or anything, but Gold one is what it's called, I guess. And it's got a cool embroidered graphic on the back. And you know, I got it fairly cheap there actually, so I think I paid about $8. And you know, you can find decent stuff at White Dove. I mean, they're more boutique-y than some of the other thrifts, so you're not going to quite usually find as much stuff, but you know, you can find stuff. This one was another antique mall find, and this one I did pay up for, but it's one of those vintage, you know, high school kind of Letterman cardigans. And my friend said she believes it's from 78 because of this on the side here. I don't know enough about these and that kind of old school jackets, high school jackets. But what's neat is it's got, I think this pin is, might be collectible. And then these guys, what is that for? Who knows? But yeah, actually that one I did pay out for 20 maybe. But it was really cool, and I think I can sell it for a decent amount. More, I mean. Banana Republic, this is another brand I like, but I don't pick up too often just for in terms of resale. It's super saturated and all that stuff, but this is a cool cable knit sweater, and modern, just because of this kind of colorway stuff they're doing is very contemporary. But great color, great design. It was cheap, and yeah, I liked it. And this is another soccer one. Now, this is Club Roma, and what I like with Club Roma is their, I just love the emblem. It's really cool. Old school. Romulus and Remus, all that stuff. So this is for a player named Rennie. I think he's like 26, 27-year-old. I looked it up, but there's a little wear on the back of the jersey, but it's not too bad. This one I picked up, and it's modern, and you know, it's like a cheapo thing, but it's pure style. I'm gonna list this one on Depop. Depop is very good for like fun, trendy stuff, and I think it should sell quick on there. Is, you know, I'm not even gonna price it for much, but it's just a fun piece. So going into a few of the books as well. This is a Bruce Epstein tour book from '08. So it's not going to sell for $1 million, but it's collectible and interesting. I think he made some people mad recently. I forget why. My friend was telling me that. I don't care. The Fight. This is a first edition by Norman Mailer. Cool. Mid-70s, something like that. This one has such a cool cover. I have another edition of this one, The Tower. But I guess it's kind of weird, though. Now, you know, seeing that stuff since September 11th, that for me, that's like, I don't really pick up a lot of, I can't pick up September 11th material because it's still kind of like seared in my mind in like the most terrible ways. This is a vintage edition of Craig's Nook, which is just a cool cover. I think late 70s. I found a couple cool war memoirs. This one's from World War II, Guadalcanal Diary. I think this one should sell for about 40 or 50. These are interesting sometimes. I'm not even going to try and say that. I'm not going to disrespect that word with my attempt. But these are kind of sleeper books sometimes, these kind of hardcovers, and where it's kind of a unique subject. It's kind of occult or almost occult. And they can have followings, those books. And I think that one is actually sell for over $100. So, and it doesn't have an ISBN, so that's good, because the book scanners will miss it. This is another war memoir book, and this one's for Vietnam. And this one probably sell for $30, $40, but it's in very good condition. These I hesitated on picking up just because I've been picking up so much stuff, but they're really cool. Life magazine Beatles. What year was this? 68. The issue with Life magazine is the print runs were very high, so it's not like these are scarce or anything. But this is Beatles, fairly collectible. The condition is okay, a little, but it's still sellable because it's the Beatles, and it's when they're kind of getting really funky. Um, this is a cool one, Barbarella. Oh, she kind of nuked her career just around then after this, I think, when she was doing stuff in Vietnam um, with the Viet Cong, which was some people never forgave her for that. Um, this one, I'll try and show you. This is another Antique Mall pickup. Not an artist I was familiar with, but the art is really cool. It's Polynesian, Tahitian sort of art. A lot of it is done on black velvet. As my buddy was saying, this used to be kind of a popular way of working. It wasn't really something I was aware of. My friend, I was with my friend Doc, and he's an artist, and he loves a lot of older, like his wheelhouse is like 30s through the 60s in terms of interest and knowledge, and he's very knowledgeable. So he was like, it's kind of cool just like going with him. He'd be pointing out a bunch of stuff and educating me on things that I'm like, oh, I had no idea, and I would have never picked up on that. So it's always nice to go with other people who will help you see and perceive more. Loch Ness Monster, vintage paperback. Nothing crazy, but it's cool. These are very interesting. These are like Chinese communist style books. Now, I couldn't really research these much because the only editions I could find were in the Chinese market. And I haven't done much Google translating and stuff to kind of figure out exactly what they are. But, I mean, just look at the design. It's just very interesting. You don't find this stuff a lot here in the U.S. And this one has the added thing of like some kind of, I don't know, is that like a communist business card? So yeah, that's interesting. I don't know when these are from. Oh wait, there's more cards in here. I love oh, there's a word for it. The things that are sometimes left in books. There's a particular word for it, and I can't think of it at the moment. But it helps. It becomes it helps tell the book story, the object story. Those kind of things that people use as bookmarks, what they've left, the notes they've taken. Oh, the notes they've taken is like marginalia. That's what it is for that. This is a very cool architecture and design book on mid-century modern, like office layouts and stuff like that. And this one I noticed because the production quality seemed good, and yeah, I had a lot of. You could tell there was a lot of work put into the book, and that it was done for like people in the profession. So that kind of made me think this is not printed in high numbers because it's such a narrow audience that they're going for, and the quality of the work is good. So that book should be fairly valuable. This one is cool, and it's by an artist, a children's book artist who I picked up before, and I have to fix up. I'm gonna use some archival tape on the back there to help preserve that dust jacket. But the artist is Nicole Clavelu, and I can't remember. She might be Canadian, I think, actually. But I have a couple other books of hers, and she's an amazing illustrator. Very weird and creepy drawings, but like very, very good. This one, I didn't know she had done this more like funky kind of, I don't know, late 60s, 70s style, because her other drawings, her other books are funky, but she didn't have this kind of like colorways and everything on it. And I mean, that is such a late 60s, early 70s illustration and graphic style. And that's very cool. This one is actually, I think, a very valuable vintage paperback. So when I saw this, I was like, that is the kind of thing, if I had seen this cover or this illustration as a child, I mean, I would have been traumatized. That's very, very creepy and scary. Um, but I believe this book should be about $100. The Shadow of the Torturer. I mean, that's actually a really good title. This one's just got a cool cover, which is why I noticed it at first, along with the title, Roots of Renewal and Myth and Madness. That's cool. So the only copies that I saw online were, they were like asking $150, which doesn't necessarily mean much. So what I did to double check if this book did actually have value is I checked in Terapeak, eBay's kind of research database, and I saw that, this book sells for about $50, which is good. But that way when I list it, I won't look like a clown, and I can actually price properly and within a general market rate, or, even a little under if I can. Just a nice copy, vintage copy of Purgatorio by Dante. Actually, something I do need to read one of these days. At least read some extracts. That's something I got to do. These ones, I really like these because this was self-published. It's vintage. It's I think somebody who was a soldier in the South Vietnamese army, and so it's kind of like a testimonial memoir of their time there. And I'm like, these kind of books are really important to preserve, in my opinion, because no matter how biased they might be, they can be important for researchers or people just very interested in these topics. And it's like, you want as many firsthand accounts from people as possible from, whatever conflicts or time period. I mean, it just helps paint a picture of that period, or one angle or slice of that period. And this one's have to see if I can clean it up. Just one of those little photography books. It's a set this publisher did, and I think they're sold a lot in like museums and stuff. Not particularly valuable, but they're great because they don't take much space, because the problem with some photography books, and it's nice to have huge coffee table books, but they are space hogs. So these kind of things are kind of nice because you can collect a bunch of them. They don't take too much space, and you can still kind of enjoy and look at the work. Studies in Iconology. That's cool. What is this? No one knows. Oh, yeah. This is like contemporary jewelry, mid-century jewelry for, this contemporary for them. This is coming from the Museum of Modern Art. A bunch of it is in German. I don't know German. Anyways, it's a catalog. Vintage from some time period. This is The Pump House Gang by Tom Wolfe. I read this ages ago. These were part of a few books where he was like kind of in the quote unquote the scene, like the counterculture and all that back in the mid-late 60s, 70s. This edition of The Pump House Gang is third printing 1968. So obviously a first printing would have been worth good money, I think. But this one's still cool. This one, I saw it and I'm like, man, they're really ripping off Dick Bruna, the Japanese, I mean. And then I realized, oh no, this is Dick Bruna, just in Japanese, and I just didn't recognize this character because I'm very used to the bunny. So yeah, I mean, it's very cool to get. I mean, it kind of makes sense actually, finding a Japanese edition of Dick Bruna, because his aesthetic, I mean, is so like Hello Kitty and all that, and very cool. One of my favorites. Matisse sculpture catalog book. Nothing crazy, just cool. Just another one for the catalog to put in the shop. And we got 2 decades of American painting. Japanese. This was an exhibition they put together in Japan. So let's see. It's from 1967, so pretty cool. Might have a little bit of value. This one I picked a bunch of these catalogs up all together at the same store. So I don't know if it was a bookseller or a collector or somebody who had a huge interest in art. But this one was very interesting to me because it's about artists from the Hamptons, you know. So it's kind of a whole catalog, and then I'm like, that's very specific, you know. So this one I don't think is like really worth much, but it's a cool reference. This is a South American, I can't remember, I think it's Argentinian, kind of comic strip, Mafalda. And the drawing by Quinto, Quinto. And the drawings are actually really cool. I actually want to take a little time and read some of these. Plus, it'll be good for my Spanish. But I think they must have been very popular because I found a few of this person's books. So if they've made their way to Phoenix and they're in, I'm finding multiple copies of this kind of work, it must mean that the reach of that artist and their popularity was fairly high, I think. This is an Italian edition book on the jewelry of Miriam Haskell. And this, I do believe, has some decent value. The production's quite good. So that's a cool one. Yeah, that's actually, I think, a good portion of things. So I have bought a ton of stuff. I'm going to have to really, put in some efforts and do all my listing and everything. But it's always fun to do the process of prepping the objects and then researching them and learning more, and for all the things you get faster as you gain more experience with it. There's certain objects where I'm like, oh, I don't know much on these, so it's going to take a little longer to properly list and research, but generally fun. Oh, I forgot this one actually. This is a little tiki guy, nothing crazy, but man, that's cool. Just home decor. Not like crazy vintage or anything. It's just cool. So yeah, that's some of the pickups. I'll do another sold video in the near future, and then maybe one of these days I'll do a little video where I'm out in the quote unquote field. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, corrections, because there'll be things where I'm like, oh, this can sell for X amount. I could be very wrong. Always feel free to correct. Or if you have any added context or, recommendations, whatever, please feel free. And yeah, hope you have a good one. Take care. Have fun out there. Bye-bye.